Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Well, what is it that makes some people just fearless and they're ready to be a risk taker and others just hold back from maybe pursuing their dreams? Dr. Nick joins us this morning with more. Great to see you.
Morning, Whitney.
You know
Morning,
what
everyone.
brought this topic, of course, to the forefront is our story on the three guys who are doing the movie The Trust Fund.
Fascinating.
Fearless.
Fascinating.
But is that because they're in their 20s?
Part of it, I think, is youth. Part of it is definitely youth. We're going to be, you know, we talked about how as we age, we become a little bit more serious and a little bit less prone to take a risk. But I found it motivating.
Good.
I think whenever you see people decide to leave the shore, to go off into the lake or the ocean and not quite know where they're going, they have a goal.
Yes.
I mean, I think fearlessness. There's something about it that's, to me, almost paradoxical, Whitney. To say someone is fearless doesn't really mean they don't have it. It just means that there's a courage that overtakes it, right? That I just really don't care whether I win or not. And again, I'm not saying that it's apathy, but it's like I'm going for it. And I know that I might bump into a few walls or I might get a few no's, but I'm determined. A lot of words come into play when you think of fearless.
Now let's talk about them because there's three of them. And does it help that there's three? Because each one can say, we can do this. We can, you know, do you need some cheerleaders?
It's an oddity. Usually you think of two.
Yes, the power of two.
The power of two. Sometimes you think three gets in the way, but I'm fascinated again by the fact that it doesn't seem to bother them, that they've got almost a trinity or a triangle. You know, and Jung talked about the square, the four. So I don't think it's a matter of numbers, it's a matter of synergy. Synergy and complementarity. And implicit trust that one knows what they're doing, competence.
You know, I love that they say all anyone can say is no.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
I remember reading once that, you know, every no you get means a yes is coming. Do you hear the fearless, you know? And I, as we were talking early in preparation for the show, I was saying that I think you have a fearless streak.
I do. You're right.
And I don't know how you experience it, or if you want to take a moment to describe it for the people. But I really believe that you can become very fearless.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it depends on the circumstances. But I was in an encounter with a
not long. Yeah. Go ahead.
You know, can you believe it? I'm going to say that it was probably 7 years ago, Nikki.
But I remember it so well.
Me too, like it was yesterday.
With a biking path or something.
It was about River Road and the new biking path, and I was on, you know, the morning show and talking about how irritating it is that they're on the road and they're not up on the levee because the new levee path had been built. And I'm telling you, they came at me like a pack of wolves.
I mean, the heat that you... But the kitchen never got too hot for you. And that's part of fearlessness.
Yeah.
You stood up to that pack of wolves, with no rage or, you know, I'm going to take you down.
Right. No.
But there was a passion.
And I felt like
there was a conviction.
There was. I felt like I had a really valid point, and that maybe somewhere my ideas and their ideas could meet in the middle, and maybe there could really be some progress. I went to one of their meetings.
I know you
I
did.
jumped into the pack of wolves.
I know you did.
And I say that because they were just very angry. Lovely people, but very angry.
I know you did. But I think the fearlessness, again, of that was what can drive to new understandings. And I mean, what kind of innovative society would America be without fearlessness?
Oh. It's almost what we were born on, right?
Yeah.
They jumped on ships and came over. And
when I think of the airplane and the Wright brothers, you know, I just finished a book about that, the Wright brothers. Fascinating story about just determined, fearless, didn't care, didn't have any money. And I don't think these people do. I think they're raising money. Aren't they doing anything they can to raise money?
From eating jelly beans to pixie sticks to cleaning your closet.
It brings up something that is, again, is of real intrigue to me as a therapist. It is in many ways it's such an antidepressant.
Oh.
It's such an antidepressant to have a project, to have a drive, to have a mission, to have a purpose, to have I don't care how many no's I get, I'm going to keep going until I get the yes. It's really a great motivator. I think it's encouraging to all of us. And remember, we live in a society where we can either put people down or we can lift up.
Right.
By our energy.
That's so true.
By our energy.
That's true. And they're a living example of that type of energy. And, you know, anybody else can be a little part of that project if they want to,
Sure. And maybe the people watching can be thinking of what is it that's keeping them from breaking out into something and saying, I don't care. I'm going to be fearless about it.
That's right. Because and think of what's the worst that could happen. And if you realize you can handle that and that's okay, go for it.
Well said.
Change the world.
Well said. Change the world.
It'll change their world anyway.
Fearless.
That's right. Well, stay with us. Much more Weekends with Whitney coming up right after this.